If you are booked out 24/7, or at least it feels like it in your local business, and even though you're all the time booked out, you're not earning enough money, or at least you're not earning as much as you should be, then you need to watch this video because I'm going to show you how you can turn your fully booked out 9 to 5 into not being fully booked out or being fully booked out, but actually getting the returns from it. Now, the first change of making the shift between being fully booked out with bad clients, people who don't pay as much, people who don't have a high average order value, and people who aren't staying long, to switching that to people who are staying as long as possible and who have a high average order value, high lifetime value, is really just understanding why these people are coming into your business and why they're not spending enough, why they're not staying longer. The first and the simplest way that you can do this is just look back at how you're getting these clients. For example, if you're using services like Groupon or these websites where people can get discounted services, then it's probably definitely one of the reasons why you're getting clients who aren't willing to spend heaps. Because the traffic of those clients is literally a website where they can get cheap services. So what I want you to do right now for your local business is something called an 80/20 audit. Basically what that means is 20% of your clients or the work you do is leading to 80% of the revenue and the outcomes. So it'll probably look something like this. 20% of your clients lead to 80% of your revenue. And 80% of your clients, which is these people coming from like stuff like Groupon on not having the right targeting, 80% of your clients are leading to 20% of your revenue, and we want to make it so we get more of those 20% to make up a bigger 80%. So step one is just knowing who that client is, who is coming in over and over again and spending heaps of money. So once you actually go ahead and do this 80/20 audit, I want you to look at that 20% of people, what is common between them. So maybe they are a certain age range, or they're coming in for a certain service or product, or maybe they have similar problems, issues. Maybe they're in a similar area, similar jobs. You want to look at these and look at the commonalities, and you want to find out why is this person spending more than this other person. And you also want to find out who that other person is. So why is this 80% not spending as much as this 20%? And you do exactly the same thing. You look at, okay, this 80% is not spending as much because they're living in this area, they're this age group. Maybe they're younger and they don't have as much money to play with as the 20%. You want to separate these two groups, figure out the commonalities between each one. Then once you figure out what this 20% looks like, what you want to do is figure out how you can attract them. So that's step two. So step two is figuring out how to actually take that 20%, take those higher paying clients, and to actually attract that 20% so you can get more of them coming in over and over again, so you can take that 20% and make it 100% of your business. So I'm just going to go over kind of a base. I'm not going to go crazy in depth of how to like attract this person. I do have more videos in depth. So if you want to, you can pause this video, go watch my ideal funnel, and then you can come back to this and hopefully you understand. If not, continue watching, all good. So first off, if we're looking at their pain points of this person, how can we translate these pain points? If we're talking like paid advertising, how can we turn that into paid advertising? Like, for example, if somebody's pain point for, I always use this example, for example, like a chiropractor, somebody's pain point is back pain. How can we target this person in these advertisements? That is what we want to figure out. And now, since we have your avatar, which is, I guess, the ideal person who is coming into your business, who is spending more money, we can look at that and translate this ideal person into how we attract them. So, for example, we have somebody named Bob, and Bob is usually 35 to 45. He's working like he's a tradie, he's working blue collar, he's doing like physical demanding work. His desires is to get rid of that back pain so he can be spending more time with his family instead of being sore and not being able to do these sorts of things. Start, I don't know, playing golf again and get back to feeling good at work. So we want to make ads around this so that we can attract Bob. It sounds pretty easy because it is, and a lot of people overcomplicate it. I'm going to show you really quickly how to do that. So what you want to do is you want to look at his pain points and then say, okay, his pain points is back pain. So you can run an ad which shows somebody who has kind of the opposite of that, somebody who had back pain and then solved it. And then Bob will see this and then he will think, okay, this guy had back pain. and now he doesn't have it, I'm going to go and I'm going to get this thing. If we're talking about the desires, that's kind of like the desire showing the outcome. And then you can also show like outcomes in different ways. For example, if we're targeting people who were at a higher income, who had hobbies like playing golf, which they're not being able to do because they have back pain, then you could show this person who like completely come back to playing golf because their back pain was solved and all those sort of things. And then Bob sees this and says, hey, I want to do that. I have the exact same problem. And that speaks with Bob. So Bob goes and buys this thing. You just need to be trying different types of angles for different avatars. For example, if your avatar has hobbies and like plays golf and you want to target high income people, don't target people who are like 18 years old who don't have back pain and probably don't even play golf. You want to be targeting the right age group with the right hobbies, and you want to be targeting that avatar instead of targeting people who play basketball when your avatar plays golf, just for an example. And you can target them in different ways. There's no one way to target an avatar. You can do video ads like founder-led, UGC, which is user-generated content, which would be that person who had back pain, who doesn't anymore, saying how he doesn't have it anymore. It does take a little bit of practice to kind of translate the avatar into ads. Really not that difficult. It might just take a few tries. Step 3 is once you have your ideal avatar in your business, just saying it's like a service-based business, how do you keep them coming back over and over and over again? Now there's a few ways you can do this. I'm going to have a video coming out soon, more in depth of how to turn your customers into more loyal customers and have them coming back over and over again. But just kind of a quick base level here, I'm going to do like 2 different things. One of them is you can have like memberships, like membership models. I don't mean like have just a membership model that they come into, but once they come in for this one thing, you can upsell them into a membership so that they're saving, they're getting extras, free stuff, more value just by being a member. Memberships can have minimum terms of 6 or 12 months with upfront fees, which can increase their lifetime value. Could turn a customer who would have stayed for 3 months into one who has stayed for 6 or 12 by having that option available. The way is just having continuity offers. So let's say you have somebody coming in for a service in your local business, and rather than them coming through once and paying one time, second time they're going to pay again, third time they pay again, you could have it so they pay 3 times up front. So you've already locked in that they're coming in 3 times, or you can have them pay for 6 times up front, similar to the membership in terms of they're kind of paying for these advantages. For example, you could give them a discount by saying you save 15% when you book this many up front. Pretty much is a continuity offer. I just like to separate the two because there's so many different continuities versus a membership is kind of obvious what it is. A quick summary, what you need to be doing is looking who that 20% of your customers is, who is making you around about that 80% of your revenue. Creating an avatar around it, so looking at who they are, what their age is, their problems, desires, where they're located, what they do for work, hobbies, all that sort of stuff. Translate these problems and desires into messaging for like advertising and posts. Once you get this person into your business, you want to use things like memberships, continuity offers, advantages, discounts for purchasing more, to actually keep them in the business, keep them in the ecosystem so that they pay more money and they stay with you for longer periods of times. And if you want to see kind of a funnel more in depth, you can click on the screen, you can watch this video, and basically it is just going more in depth of an ideal local business funnel to get you out of that 15 to 50K per month. Enjoyed the video and hope you got a little bit out of it. See ya.